Hi, welcome. My name is Natalia, and I'm doing videos about tarot and magic. And this video, I wasn't going to post a video this week because honestly, I didn't. I'm normally doesn't have the time of the energy for doing this, and I liked being here, but this is not something that I going to get used to very easy to post videos about myself and tarot and whatever I'm talking about here. But I was thinking about posting a video for in this week, the next week, or again about magic and tarot decks, and I noticed that I normally doesn't have so many views, and when I have views is when I post about tarot decks. And the other day I posted a video. That is not to shame somebody here. That is not what this is about. But I noticed that when I post a videos about tarot decks, even when it's about the decks I don't like or whatever, and or I don't use or whatever about these kind of topics, that is the videos people is seeing them and nobody's watching the other ones, and it's okay. But I was thinking about why it's so important to us to see videos and talk about tarot decks, and not only about the tarot itself, because I don't know. When I post a videos about the meaning of a card, I know so many people is doing that, or about why I love tarot. Or it's different. People react to videos in a different perspective of way, and I understand that we are all different and we have different needs and we want different things. But I was questioning myself why I was watching videos about decks before and I'm not doing that now, and how that affected my life. I bought a new tarot deck, and that is what I'm going to show you in a way. I'm not going to tell you the name because honestly I don't know the name. I knew the deck, yes. I saw not somebody talking or a video about the deck, but I saw a picture about the deck like 2 years ago, and I never see the deck in personal life before, and I thought the deck was an interesting for me, and it was okay. I didn't have it. I didn't saw to buy the deck, and it's possibly I will never do it. But I saw in the moment that it was a beautiful and great deck for myself. And I'm thinking, no, pandemic moments in my life, it was a crazy thing about our decks. I bought so many, and I don't do it anymore. And it's not like because I know now that doesn't because I bought a deck today, that doesn't mean I'm going to do it again the next week, or I'm going to do it continuously, or I'm going to be addicted to tarot videos about decks again. One of the reasons is that why I was watching these videos is very different the reason because I bought it today. Doesn't mean I'm trying to justify myself of why I bought a deck. I bought the deck because I like it and I want it, and I have it now. And I know I'm going to use it. Yes, possibly. I'm going to tell you about the deck maybe in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months if I'm really using it. If I don't, and why about this is it's more about this video is more about why I was feeling 3 4 years ago that I need to have this. And sometimes you justify yourself saying, okay, this is a deck I'm going to use to study. I saw one time a sacred geometry deck that was an oracle, and I thought, okay, this deck is cool to study the concept of sacred geometry. And the truth is, I didn't need a new deck to study sacred geometry, and I knew that, and that is the reason because I never buy it. I bought it, that deck. Sorry about my sometimes crazy words, but I knew in that moment of my life that having decks, I feel in that moment of my life that the connection with the other decks in this journey, crazy journey, I was feeling that if I didn't buy a new deck, my connection with tarot is going to be erased. Maybe because I started to using decks when I was a teenager, and maybe even before of that, was using different types of cards, even casting. I I use I think my first way to use or to work with a divination was casting. I have some a collection of things and I use it in that way, and that was so beautiful because I was using my little obsessed to tell stories, not only to see my future or see the other people's future, just to tell stories. And I still do that. I'm not having a casting back today on this moment of my life, but I know that upset for me, they have something to say to me, and I use them in not always material way. Sometimes I use it in a more anonymous way. What I wanted to tell about why buying tarot decks, and I hope this is the last deck video this topic because I'm tired of I'm getting tired of this idea of talking of this, is that I was feeling that if I didn't buy new decks, I was going to have more connection with tarot. I was not going to use more tarot. I'm not going to learn more about tarot, and I was going to not have tarot in my life. I was going to less and less have uh, interest in it. And then I figured out that wasn't the way I work. Sometimes I tend to read or learn or study something for a very long time, and then I stop using it, and then I come back to that. I come back to that because it's part of my life forever. And you can have different cycles in your life, moments of. If you are not using tarot but you love tarot, that doesn't mean it's not going to be in your life again. And if you are using tarot decks and you're using two, three, or maybe four for a reading, it can be okay. If you're using one system, two systems, three systems, it's okay. If you don't understand that it's more of one system, it can be okay. Because it's more about why we are tarot readers. It's because that is a very good question. Why you are a tarot reader? Please tell me in the comments. What was the reason that you think that made you to connect with tarot decks in the first place? It was your family, it was a tradition in your house, a friend, somebody that you love, it was the anxiety, it was a video that you saw, it was maybe a way to work with in a therapy way. I would love to hear, to know about that. To me, it was a part of my story. I grew up in a little town, and people around me, some them knew how to read Spanish cards, and they teach me about symbols and the concepts and ideas, and I was just amazed for that. And I had collection of different kind of cards when I was a child, and I always was telling stories about these cards, even when they weren't tarot, they weren't even something related to that. And but for me it was a way to see the world, and I couldn't stop to do it, and I'm never going to do it. And I know that about myself today. So I know that it's okay if I have decks, but it's not about that. It's about who I am. And to me, it's the most important thing. So about why we both things. Sorry. Can be very personal. I did the last year. This year was different for me. This started different for me. But the last year I was very scared about not having food because here things are a little crazy about the economy aspect. I live in a place in a country. I live in Argentina if you are new here. And in this country food is something that exists in a very big quantity. But sometimes the way the industry works can make food don't be there. That normally doesn't happen, but I was feeling that anxiety. I'm still doing it. I know that maybe the next month I can don't have a payment. So that is a possibility. Always. Especially here. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to think that way. That is my personal preference in this moment. But I wanted to say this. It's okay if you want something new. It's okay if you want something new because you want to learn from it, read from it, collection even. But you don't need it. You will never do. And the reasons why we do things are very personal, but normally it's because the anxiety. And I'm not an expert about this concept, about what I'm saying. Maybe I'm wrong. Don't take me like someone is knowing what she's talking about. But normally is about the little fry. And when I started to see and watch videos about X, I remember so many people talking about what you need. And no. And I remember videos. I started seeing Grace videos, and she's talking about the FOMO and that she felt that she wasn't connected with Tarot anymore. And I was agreeing with her. I was feeling the same way. And that is important to hear different kind of voices. That people is not always talking about the same concepts, the same ideas, and maybe they can think different from you. It's okay. I like to see people, to watch videos about people that think different from me, but I don't tend to watch videos of tarot deck collection. Sometimes I do just to know what is there, but I don't want them. And I know that, and it's okay if you want them. But I know that it's impossible to me today to buy them, so that is a cool thing. And the reason because I have this one is because I was in my exoteric shop and I saw them. I saw it, and I was thinking, okay, that deck is cool. I can. have it, but I didn't buy in that moment. I wait because okay, I don't know if I really want, if I'm going to use it, if it's a deck that it has a purpose in my life. And I let time pass it. I didn't thought about it for a very long time, and then okay, I saw it again. I figured out that maybe it's a deck I can have. I didn't buy a deck for the last 2 3 years, so I don't feel like super guilty about it. It's not. It's like buying a new jacket. You don't need it. You can maybe love the old one that you have, but you can have a new one sometimes. It's not my big problem in this moment. I don't think is it was necessary. I'm not saying to myself that it was okay or it wasn't okay. It's just what it is. And sometimes we live in a very, 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 very consumerist world, and we do things like that. And the world is still just running. I'm not going to feel ashamed. It's because it was never about that. But I know that I need to do something about having it. I mean, it's like when you have a new dress and you feel that you need to use it, because if you don't wear the dress, it's like, why I bought this? And you have to find an excuse maybe to use it. So it's not like, okay, it's like when you have something you that you like too much, and you are trying to find the moment, for the first moment, to really use that, because okay, that is that exciting about the idea. And sometimes tarot decks can be that, just a new one to use the tarot more. And that doesn't mean it's something bad. The problem is when you cannot stop, when you are so consumed about it that you can actually, it's the 3 of the morning and you are still watching tarot videos because you are trying to find something that is something new to connect, because you can connect with the old one because you need something new, because what you have is not important to you, or it's just not anymore. If you are, I think it's more the way you see things. I don't see things like things, just things. So in my animist way to see the world, having too many things can be a problem. I like to have new things. I have a new table. But that doesn't mean that I like to have things and for just for having them. I want to feel a connection with them, to feel that they are important to me, to have something, a relationship with that things, even when they are not things, are sometimes more like people. And trying to see this thing, that is just my little advice. See decks not like things, just like people, with personalities, with energies, with different kind of connections, and the way you interact with them. And I'm going to try to show you just 1 or 2 3 cards and why I thought it was fun, and the reason that I bought that deck is that you know this version of the Marcella deck. I think it is so cool and so beautiful. And this is a deck, I don't know if you can find it. It's a deck that you can find in my country. And I love the colors and the borders. I like the borders even when they are big. And maybe one day I'm going to destroy this deck like other decks I destroy. But it's not important thing. I love this color so much. It's just more about, okay, trying to see them with something, with a different perspective. If you start to see things like not just things and they have a purpose in your life, some things are going to be things. Not everything needs to be uh, have a very deep connection with you. That is not that. It's not going to be, because that will be crazy and will be maybe very difficult to cope in the real day, every day. But with something that is not just a tool, maybe something can be something more. I'm that is my personal approach. I know that is not everybody approach, and it's okay. You don't need to think like me. You can have decks if you want just to watch it and see, okay, this is pretty. I like to see this because it's pretty and make me feel happy. I don't know. I'm not going to shout people who does what it does. I'm but yes, I'm going to shout people that is trying to make to other people do that kind of things. Just it was okay doing this. No, I didn't have the need to buy this deck. I like it. I have it. It was the right way to. Was the right thing? No, but it is what it is, and it's okay in my perspective. That doesn't mean that is just right for everybody, or maybe it's right for you in this moment. And please, don't do this. Don't try to find this deck. Don't try to buy this deck. Just enjoy what you have. Try to find one deck in your house and try to connect with it. Not like just a deck, just more like a person, like people. And the thing is, I know that is, I'm going to say something that is so, maybe it's going to make people angry. I don't think they are good or bad tarot readers. I think they are readers, and we are telling always stories. But something that I really believe is the difference between a collector, and a tarot reader is in that. If you are buying decks just because they are pretty and not have a connection with them, you are not a tarot reader. I'm sorry. You are just a collector. I know that I'm not saying something new, and I know that is not what everybody likes to hear, but it's what I really think. So I hope you enjoy this video and see you soon in the next one. It's possibly not going to be about tarot, it's possibly going to be about magic, and yeah, whatever. See you soon.